It's time we talk about the draft. Let's get into it. So, you know the story of Superman and how his only weakness, or one of his only weaknesses, is kryptonite, right? Well, my weakness, I've got a lot of weaknesses, but my Swoop weakness is the draft. So I'm going to do a video on the draft from an article that I saw thanks to the Herald Sun. And then we're going to get the draft king, the king of drafts, footy content, Pommy. He's gonna jump on with me, and that video will release next week. We're gonna talk about who he thinks, because he just deep dives into it. And if you haven't already, go check out Pommy's all of his content. Is just absolutely phenomenal, especially his draft work. Just second to none in the footy content creation. But let's get into our draft hand, who we're sort of looking at from the picks, and we'll just talk about it from there. So we know that our draft hand this year is absolutely shithouse, to put it bluntly. We've got picks 33, 48, and 51 at the moment. Now, that doesn't obviously take into account when there's bidding or academy picks or anything sort of like that. So at the moment, that is what we're looking at. Now, we also know that we gave up our first round draft pick to bring in Lachie Schultz, and I'm not going to get into the positives and negatives all around that. It is what it is. We gave away our first round draft pick. We bring in Lachie Schultz, so then we don't have a first round draft pick. Now, that's not to say that we're not going to try and trade up into the draft. There's talks that, Collingwood are looking at pick 12 for John Noble. Obviously not a straight swap. There'll be more picks exchanged, and there might be players going X, Y, and Z. So it's not going to be a straight swap, but that's what we're looking at the moment. If it's not pick 12, probably be around pick 20. They want to get into this draft early on in this draft. The talent runs really deep. From what I've been reading, we'll talk to Pommy about that a little bit later. But this video is just going to focus on, if we don't get into the first round of the draft, or anything further up into the draft, who can we draft around those picks that we do have? So let's look into it. In this draft, there's actually a whole raft of tall players, key defenders, key forwards, and we know that Collingwood need tall players. We also know that Collingwood absolutely love to draft a midfielder. So don't be surprised if we do pick a midfielder first, because we love an inside mid to draft. We love an outside mid before we pick any tall. So don't be surprised if we go for a midfielder first. But in regards to the tall players, all of our tall players at the moment are getting old. They're on the older end of the scale. We need someone to replace Nathan Murphy, who was about, I think Nathan Murphy sat around 192 to 194 centimeters, something like that. So he was a tall guy. So we lose that. But we need a key forward. We need a key back. And the midfielders, they will come. So who are the sort of key talls around our picks that we are going to be looking at potentially? The first one is Jonty Faull, 195 centimeter key forward. He's just kicked 5 goals in the preliminary final. He's off to a grand final, and he has just been absolutely incredible all season for the Rebels. In his last 2 seasons, he's kicked 47 goals in total. When he's played for Vic Country, he's played 3 games for Vic Country, kicked 5 goals. But his biggest game actually came in the preliminary final, which I just alluded to. He kicked 5 goals in the prelim. He had 18 disposals, 14 kicks, 4 handballs, 7 marks, 6 inside 50s, and obviously the 5 goals. He kicked 50% of the goals for the Rebels to beat the Chargers, and now they're playing off in a grand final. So Jonty Faull might be a premiership player if he can come to us around that pick, 33-ish mark. Jonty Faull can take a really good mark, can obviously kick a goal, and we know that key forwards and talls just in general are prospects, so don't expect him to play straight away. But this guy's kicking 50 meters, 60 meters. He looks absolutely incredible, 195 centimeters. So he's still growing. Jealous, but he's still growing, and he could be a diamond in the rough for us, and someone that we definitely have to look at, because we definitely need. I can't remember the last time we drafted a big key forward. It's just been way too long. Another guy we can potentially be looking at is Thomas Sims. Now, Sims is a 199 centimeter product. He is a ruck forward, so he's a good backup ruckman. Think of him sort of like a almost like a Darcy Cameron where he can just flip between the two, but not sort of most of his time in the ruck. He'll be mostly forward. In his last 2 seasons, he's kicked 29 goals. So this season was his best season. He kicked 23 goals for the Northern Knights. He played in Vic Metro, kicked 4 goals from 4 games. Again, really good hands, really can find a goal as well, and he's pretty good in the ruck. On the weekend, he played a bit of an ankle injury, so he didn't get to finish out the game, but he seems like a prospect. Again, we know that with rucks, they do take a while to look at. Are we sort of going for a guy that can do play both? We do have Oscar Steen in the wings just waiting, so he's someone that can probably come into the ruck. Not really a forward. Same with Smith. These guys aren't going to be those key forwards that we need. They're just going to be solely rucks. So someone like Sims could be the guy where he's 60% forward, 40% ruck, or something like that. 199 centimeters, still growing, and we just again, I just want to reiterate the fact that we need to draft talls. The last guy we're looking at is a key defender, so possibly a Nathan Murphy replacement. It's Noah Mraz. So Noah Mraz, 198 centimeters, crafts his game around Darcy Moore, which is incredible, is exactly what we need, exactly what Nathan Murphy did. He's actually sitting around the top 30 in some Phantom drafts, but what is sort of a bonus for Collingwood, it's no good for Mraz, but he had a navicular bone injury in his foot, so he missed out on pretty much every game except for 2 this season as he sort of recovered from that. That's CT scans. He just resumed squatting and sort of running a few weeks ago in August, so it's been a long road for him, but that might mean that he can fall to us if we're looking for that key defender. The one thing to look out for with Mraz is, will he be able to do the draft combine, in early October? Is he going to be ready for that 2-kilometer talent trial? Is he going to be ready for that rigorous sort of testing? That's going to be very, very interesting. But he seems really determined to get back. Very young. The doctor said that foot injury most likely won't happen again. So if we're looking for a defender that might slip to us, if we're not sort of going for a key forward, this guy would be the best bet. Also, the sort of bonus ones I want to talk about here are the Whitlock twins. So one's a forward ruck, one's a defender forward, so they can play anywhere. They're both around 200 centimeters. In sort of Phantom drafts and form guides, they're going in the top 20, so maybe, this is why Collingwood are trying to get a higher pick to get one of these guys, because they look like absolutely incredible prospects and will suit us very, very well. But I want to see what Pommy thinks we should be getting with our picks and where he sort of thinks that we can get back into the draft. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.